The brand. A word of living fire pursued the Orphean across the Blue Kingdom. It caught you just before you passed through the transit relay to the Reach and set its brand upon the captain. It's burned itself right through her, the doctor whispers. When I closed the worst of her wounds, I could see the sign is seared into her bones and her organs. Judging from her symptoms, it's on the inside of her lungs too. The captain leans to one side and vomits a plume of fire into a copper bowl. There's nothing the doctor can do. She just vomited fire! Let's get good. I am the gamer under development, and this is Sunless Skies from Fail Better Game Studio. Now, you guys will notice right away that our webcam is fairly basic. We're just downed in the corner. That's not because I'm not going to do a special custom one just for Sunless Skies. That's because I got this key like last night and decided that I wanted to record a blind playthrough while I had the opportunity, while we're waiting for the 1000 sub celebration to end and our new ES2 playthrough to start. So we are going to dive right in. This is a blind playthrough. I have played Sunless Seas. If you guys haven't, please bear with me. I will explain things as I go and hopefully learn them. Oh boy, our first very important decision. For those of you who do not know, the Sunless Seas series, which this is, I believe, based off of, is a game that is about exploration, naval combat, and Cthulhu Mythos storytelling, which is really cool. I don't know if you guys are into Cthulhu stuff. I got into Cthulhu stuff because of Bloodborne and other games that follow the Mythos, so I'm excited to check this out. But anyways, our very first important decision. Legacy campaign, if you die you can only continue with a new captain, or merciful campaign, if you die you can reload or continue with a new captain. Oh, you can reload with merciful versus... So because this is a learning run, I think we should go merciful, but next time I'll definitely do legacy. Aiming assistance, only a few player weapon arcs, or only a few player weapon arc I'm misreading. Only a few player weapons arc towards the target. Many player weapons arc gently towards targets, making aiming easier. Many player weapons arc aggressively toward targets, making aiming easier. I'm gonna go with none here, just because we want to learn how to do the aiming ourselves. We don't want the game to compensate for us. Enemy projectiles move at the default speed. You can slow them down, I'm guessing. Stately. I'm gonna leave this at standard. Once again, we're trying to learn the game, so it doesn't do us a whole lot of good to lower that unless we find ourselves having significant trouble and being unable to continue without it. Supply consumption, we're gonna leave that at standard as well. Actually, you know what? Maybe... No, we'll go standard here. We'll go standard because we want to face... Part of the challenge of these games is actually economically surviving your explorations, because you do need food, fuel, and supplies to keep everybody on your ship from going cray and coming after you, because insanity is a big sub-theme of these games. Okay, let's go. I'm excited. Like a kid in a candy store. Oh, I forgot to mention, in this one, we are flying through the sky in flying locomotives. Okay, so this is going to be very cool. Experience gained from discovering landmarks is passed on to all your future captains. That's actually a really cool feature, too. Oh, here we go. Log of Her Majesty's Locomotive, the Orphean, March 14th, 1905. Our expedition to the domains of the dead has been eventful. The Orphean is damaged and in grievous need of repairs and supplies. We are returning in haste to the Reach, where I hope to make port at New Winchester. May God be with us, for 1,000 deaths wait in the sky. Final entry of Captain Amelia Charity Whitlock, DCM, written shortly before her death. I'm guessing that's the ship we're inheriting right now? Woo! Fail Better Games presents. Oh yeah. While this loads, real quick, thank you very much to Fail Better Games for the keys so that I could cover this, because I'm really, really excited. Here we go, y'all. Okay, so this is familiar to me. If you haven't played Sunless Seas, this is a very similar interface. I'm guessing this is the dock that we're leaving, or heading towards, potentially. No, this is a transit relay. Okay, so we move forward with W, backward with S, and we turn with A and D. We've returned to the Reach, an untamed sunless span of the heavens. London's new frontier, a celestial garden run wild. As you can see, we've got all these overgrowths going on here. Dodge left, dodge right with Q and E. Oh, well, that's a new thing. Yeah, you could not do that in quite that way in Sunless Seas, but that's pretty cool. Your journey back from the Blue Kingdom was tumultuous, your locomotive is crippled, and Captain Whitlock badly wounded. Okay, so Captain Whitlock is badly wounded, y'all. We in some troubles. This is fuel, this is supplies, we do want to keep an eye on those as we go too. You've little food left now, soon hunger will begin to bite. Hunger can actually drive your people mad, and it can cause events where your crew tries to eat each other. So, very cool things. As first officer, the new crew look to you. The nearest station is New Winchester. Oh, I missed the end of that. That's sad. I'm sure it'll be okay, though. So that's our hull. That's our terror. There we go. Terror is what I was kind of looking for. So we can scavenge with R here. Managed to get 1 fuel out of that. Much of the relief of your stokers. You find a barrel of fuel among the detritus. A wreck drifts here, less fortunate even than you. We should scavenge her for repairs, a crewman suggests. Yes, we should. The wreck of the Ozymandias. The wreck hangs... Look at this art, guys. Like, I really love the art style of this game. Is perfect for the content. I'm sorry, I'm nerding out, but I really dig this. Okay, so let's read it. The wreck hangs in the sky, pocked with recent gunfire. You and the boarding party don your sky suits, garments of waxed canvas, lined with felt to protect against the cold of the sky. 2 of the crew are whispering as they dress. What business did Captain Whitlock have in the Blue Kingdom anyway? Why the devil did we trespass on the districts of the dead? You silence him. Now's not the time. Leap across the wreck is our option. The gap between the 2 engines isn't wide, but the endless fathoms of heaven gape beneath it. Go, baby. If one of our people isn't agile, they might die. Just so you know. You jump, your stomach lurches with vertigo as the stars blaze above you and below. The air of the heavens is thin and torn by unpredictable winds. Then your boots hit the running board of the Ozymandias, and your leather-gloved hands fumble for a hold. One of your companions throws you a line and you lash the 2 engines together, only then do the rest of the boarding party follow you. One of them forces open an exterior hatch and you clamber inside. Dun dun dun! Her interior is cold, unlit, and whistles with wind. Your party's lamps spread buttery light over the narrow paneled passages. You make your way towards the hold, stepping over bodies crumpled in the corridor. Unfortunately, your way is blocked. A bulkhead has been mangled inward by a well-aimed barrage. So we can clear the obstruction. You locate a length of pipe to use as a pry bar and set to work. This will test your iron skill. That gives us a 75% chance of succeeding right now. Iron is the skill of confronting and overcoming. Lead your party on a more precarious path. Go back out onto the Ozymandias hull, climb past the blockage, and enter through a window on the far side. And do so carefully. Veils is the skill of deceiving and evading. And we would have a 75% chance with Veils at this point as well. I'm wondering if doing this decides sort of how your captain ends up as you go forward. So what I would realistically do here is probably clear the obstruction. Like, climbing on the outside of a ship in the sky seems a little nutso. A memory. As you strain against the stubborn steel, you remember an event from a year ago. A boiler explosion had trapped an engineer under a tangle of plating and pipework. The captain was first on the scene. You were second. Together, you managed to pry the wreckage upwards enough for you to crawl beneath it while the captain braced the bar across her back. By all means, take your time, she grunted as you dragged the engineer out. Back in the present, the twisted bulkhead yields. Your companions clear the exposed rubble away. The way is clear. You have reached the Ozymandias hold. A ruin of smashed cargo and spilled supplies. Hopefully somewhere amidst the detritus you can find parts to repair the Orphean and restock your stores. Conduct a thorough search. Your companions work quickly. The Ozymandias' hull has begun to creak. Your actions on board may have compromised its integrity. Alright, so do it, guys. Find us the things. Renewed. You find enough food and gear to restock your supplies, and enough spare parts to make necessary repairs to the Orphean. The food will need to be thoroughly thawed, of course, but you've eaten worse in the skies. "Oh-ho!" cries one of your party, prying the lid off a long crate. It holds a cannon still nestled in straw. Another crewman pulls a battered birdcage from a pile of ruined cargo. Within the cage, something winged and furred opens a sullen eye. You examine your finds. Winged and furred... Winged and furred is weird, because most animals don't have both wings and fur, I guess. And it opens its sullen eye. Okay, this is fun. I'm already excited. The Ozymandias emits a long, juddering creak. Your boarding party exchange nervous glances. From the chaos of its hold, you have retrieved repairs and supplies, and discovered some useful equipment, a gun that can be mounted to your locomotive, and an educated bat. I didn't think about that. Bats do indeed have fur and wings. Mount the Jerusalem cannon on the Orphean. Her own weapons were damaged during your flight from the Blue Kingdom. That leaves you vulnerable. You can claim both this and the bat. Oh, okay, so you can claim both this and the cannon. Liberate a diffident bat and employ it as a scout. So it says we can claim both. You need a diffident bat, you need a collateral. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the bat here, because early on, even without a weapon, we can evade, and in the last game, the bat was used as sort of like a scanner that would let you know what was around you, so we'll go with that. Eyes in the sky. The bat treats its rescue as an inconvenience and immediately begins haggling over pay. You offer to put it back in its damn cage and leave it on the Ozymandias, at which point it becomes more polite. You doubt it will last. Oh my god, so the bat started bartering with us for pay. That's great. The Ozymandias emits a long juddering creak. Okay, we already saw that part. Oh, now we're just gonna mount the Jerusalem as well. There we go, that's how we get to claim both. The Cotterel and Hathersage Jerusalem fires single shells to a good range, more or less accurately. More or less accurately, exactly what you want out of all your cannons. You order 2 of your party to get it back to your vessel and fit it immediately. The Ozymandias groans again, the structure shudders spasmodically. We gotta go, y'all. The Ozymandias emits a long juddering creak. Your boarding party should... This is the same prompt, sorry. Press on to the engine room. You might find more fuel there, but you had better hurry. The Ozymandias is beginning to tear apart. You will abandon anything you have not yet claimed from the hold. That's fine, we claim both of the things. Or we can return to the Orphean. Let's be risky. We press on to the engine room. The wreck of the Ozymandias screeches as its metal buckles and tears. You press on through the shuddering corridor, searching frantically for the engine room. Send a smaller party ahead to retrieve fuel. It's foolish for all of you to go. Send your quickest and lightest to retrieve the fuel while the rest of you return to the Orphean. Hearts is the skill of convincing and enduring. We'd have a 49% success chance with that. Go yourself and conduct a hasty research. Send the rest of the boarding party back to the Orphean. Go on alone. Mirrors is the skill of investigating and deducing, and we would have a 49% chance of succeeding with that. Call me selfish, but y'all can go right ahead. Go on ahead, just a little bit. Hey, success, at least they didn't die. A likely lad and lass. You select 2 sprightly members of your party and they dart on to the Ozymandias. The rest of you return to the Orphean to wait. You chose wisely. The 2 explorers return shortly after, carrying several sacks of glistening black coal. They are lauded as heroes by your crew, and as you stoke your engines and steam away, restocked, refueled, repaired, and rearmed, bam, we got it. You've gained 2 times fuel. New total is 4. Oh wow, we can actually run into that wreck, so I gotta be a little careful there, because we don't want to take damage running into it. Press F to send out your scout. Cost supplies. That's new. It didn't used to cost supplies to send out a scout. That's not exactly ideal. Your scout relays its findings. Advice for captains. Ah, here we go. Scouts, your scout has discovered something. To see what it is, open your chart, the compass icon in the toolbar. Gotcha. We're not going to disable the advice. We will actually... Can we click it? No, we probably have to hide it first. Okay. Summoned by Captain Whitlock, the walls of the captain's cabin are lined with a hodgepodge of curios from across the sky. Captain Whitlock lies in bed, black marks cover her skin like a monstrous brand. When she coughs, coils of acrid smoke pour from her lungs. Whoa, that's different. That's not a natural affliction. Inquire after the captain's injuries, or approach the bedside. Captain opens her eyes as you draw near. She attempts to smile. The locomotive's doctor attends to her. His lips are tight. Let's ask about the injuries. The brand. A word of living fire pursued the Orphean across the Blue Kingdom. It caught you just before you passed through the transit relay to the Reach and set its brand upon the captain. It's burned itself right through her, the doctor whispers. When I closed the worst of her wounds, I could see the sign is seared into her bones and her organs. Judging from her symptoms, it's on the inside of her lungs too. The captain leans to one side and vomits a plume of fire into a copper bowl. There's nothing the doctor can do. She just vomited fire! What the hell is going on? The walls of the captain's cabin are lined with a we already read that. Okay. Approach the bedside. The captain opens her eyes as you draw near. Let's approach the bedside. Her mouth is blistered from the blue fires that dance on her tongue. Her hand grips your arm. Her skin is hot as a kettle. Made arrangements. The Orphean will be yours. Her voice is just a rasp of burned meat breath. Burned meat breath. That has to be interesting. But promise, she breaks off to scream a word in a language that was not made for human mouths. When she resumes speaking English, she is weaker. Her request little more than a gasp. Promise me one last service. Promise. Okay. Promise her, make no promise, tell her to rest, pull away. I think she's gonna die here, and if we tell her we're not gonna promise her anything so that she'll hold on till we get to the thing, it may not matter. Man, to know why she took the Orphean to the Blue Kingdom. That's another option. Let's see. I'm sorry, guys. I am an empathetic person. She's lying here dying because there's fire in her lungs. I'm just gonna make her the promise, okay? Don't hate me for it. Promise her you will obey her last command. Whatever it is, you'll see it done. She sinks back relieved. All in my will, she gasps. Be a better... She breaks off as the sigils burn into her bones flare, glowing cherry red through her flesh and skin. Better captain than I. The effort exhausts her, she sinks back into the scorched pillows and a twisting, frantic fever. Jeebus. Yo, we're not going to that place that we went that she got that, because that's not cool. The walls of the captain's cabin, okay, we saw that. Take your leave. Onwards we go. Other business. You leave the cabin and the scorched stink of its air behind and return to the bridge. New Winchester is further than you'd like and the captain hasn't long left. Okay, let's go. Onwards! Actually, we should check this, because our bat just found a thing. This is the thing that our bat found. It looks to be some sort of railway, potentially a sky dock. No, it's a station. There's not a key there, I should pay attention. It is a station. There are also platforms, wonders, horrors, something ghastly, something grave, something that glitters, something to crave, and a transit relay. The legend right here has me creeped out already. One of the coolest things about Sunless Seas, if you hadn't played it, is there's actually a part of the undersea that you go through that has, oh lordy, that has a giant eye that you can look at. It's just creepy as all heck. Okay, primary fire is our left click. Whoa. So I don't see weapon arcs here when we do this primary fire, and it does knock us backwards. So without forward momentum... Oh, hello. Uh-oh. We are over temp right now. We're gonna have to pull back and cool down. Okay, so we're cooled down. We got this enemy right in front of us. That is not what I was... There we go, hit him. Oh, come on. I'm trying not to get super close while we engage them, because I don't want to get hit. Oh, we got him. Beautiful. Loot him with R. The Reach Marauders is defeated. You approach the buckled wreckage, poised to plunder the plunderers. Behind you, someone is humming a song of victory. Da, 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 da. Actually, no. What is the... Da, 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 da. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The Final Fantasy VII song. That's what I'm hearing in my head. Raid the remains. Marauders pillage homesteads and hunt travelers all across the Reach. They often carry stolen valuables. Strip it for repairs. Scavenge the Marauder plating and components to repair the damaged Orphean. We're not actually damaged right now, so I'm gonna raid the remains. Ill-got gains. Your boarding party returns with wallets and watches, cufflinks, lockets, and keepsakes. You store them in the safe to be pawned if you make it back to port. You now have 46 sovereigns. So it turned it into sovereigns even before we pawned them, which is actually kind of useful in case we need the money for supplies. And we shall continue on. I believe F is our key to scout, so I'm going to send our scout out one more time. I do have to be careful with that. I used to spam the scout all the time in Sunless Seas, but in this case, that doesn't seem like a good idea. Mainly because we will not have enough supplies to do that, especially at this point. Okay, so we're going to plow straight forward. I'm reasonably sure the station up here is the one we're heading to, New Winchester. That should be it right there. Ah, there we go. The taste of smog, the sound of iron and on iron, we are home. New Winchester, here we come. A new port, the crew are relieved to see land, perhaps unwisely. And we got an achievement as well. We're gonna dock with R. As you can see, I have terrible skill at aiming for the dock. That's super cool though. I love this little thing. I'll probably use one of these circles as a webcam frame for the next episode. I'm sorry I didn't have that extra branding thing done, guys, but this is a blind playthrough and I was just really excited to dive in. Arrival at New Winchester, you coast into the bustle, the din, the soot, and the steam of Wolvesey Station. It is clogged with other engines, scrappy mining locomotives from Lustrum Way, weathered explorers gleaming with frost, sleek company vessels with bright brass fittings. No sooner have you pulled into the sidings than a brusque station master bustles over. He requests to come aboard. I must speak with your captain, he insists, brandishing a ledger. The usual formalities. Look to the Orphean's doctor. He has just appeared at your shoulder. His face is solemn. His hat is in his hands. He lowers his eyes. Bye, Cap. We liked you for a minute. It's so sad you gone already. The passing. Ah, there we go. The crew exchange bleak, wordless looks. The Orphean itself feels suddenly more empty. The station master looks confused. You inform him that unfortunately Captain Whitlock has just passed. Ah, he says neutrally. Sorry to hear that. Very sad. Very sad. He waits for what he considers an appropriate minute and a half before continuing. Alas, even amidst tragedy, the cogs of bureaucracy must turn. If Captain Whitlock is deceased, the station authority requires their answers from the first officer. He dons a set of spectacles and locates his pen. It will be relatively painless. Name, background, purpose of visit, etc. Shall we begin? Yes, we shall. So this is probably going to be our captain creation. Yes, it is. Look at this. Create your captain. Today, London lies between the stars. Her new empire unfolds across the heavens. But 10 years ago, before the Northern Gate was opened, before the renewed Empress led her people into the skies, it lay in a vast cavern far beneath the earth, deep, dark, marvellous. Who were you then? Oh, okay, so this is actually saying, who were you in Sunless Seas? Wow, this is so cool. So we were a sailor. Yeah, that's what you were in the first game. You were a sailor. Okay, so we can be a street urchin. No parents, no laws, no masters, but also no roof over your head, no money, and often no dinner. Freedom comes at a price. You will begin with high veils, the skill of evading and deceiving. I would be okay with that, actually. That's kind of close to home. A soldier. Yours was not to reason why. Yours was to do and die. You will begin with high iron, the skill of confronting and overcoming. I think that'll actually make us better at combat, so that's kind of useful. A poet, the pen, the ink, the blank monstrous page. You will begin with high hearts, the skill of convincing and enduring. That could be interesting, but I don't know about for our first playthrough. An academic, a student of the sciences, the arts, of philosophy. You will begin with high mirrors, the skill of investigating and deducing. A priest, hymns and hymnals, Sundays and sermons. You will begin with high hearts, the skill of convincing and enduring. A sailor, you roved the mournful, merciless waters of the Untersee. You will begin with high iron, the skill of confronting and overcoming. So it looks like we have a couple of options for each of the different skills. I wonder what the difference between the sailor and the soldier is, for example. I'm not entirely sure about that. Guess we'll find out. A ministry auditor. For a time, you served at the Ministry of Public Decency, which has become Her Majesty's preferred instrument. You will begin with high mirrors, the skills of investigating and deducing, so that's basically like being a cop, I guess. A revolutionary. The world is broken. One way for the rich, another for the poor. You decided to do something about it. You begin the game with high veils. We're going with that. I love that. You were a revolutionary. The law offered you no protection. The engines of the state were set against that which you knew to be just. With your feet and fish, you marched, and when marching wasn't enough, you fought. Increase your iron, the skill of confronting and overcoming, and affiliates you with villainy. Interesting. With your mind, lies are the tools of tyrants. You published research to expose those lies and illuminate injustice. Increase your mirrors, the skills of investigating and deducing, and affiliate you with academy. Or academe. I guess, is that actually how you spell academia? That could be it. With your art travels swiftly, it cannot be imprisoned, it cannot be hanged. Increase your hearts, the skill of convincing and enduring, and affiliate you with Bohemia. So the affiliate you with Bohemia, Academy, and Villainy thing, that's actually new. I think I'm gonna go with your mind, because that more falls in line with what we used to do on the channel and stuff when we had our podcast and all that cool stuff. Choose an ambition. What does winning mean to you? This is one of the coolest parts of this game, by the way, guys. Your victory condition is decided by what you select here, and potentially by events that you encounter in the game. So wealth, you want a comfortable retirement, and by comfortable, you mean extravagant. Many have made their fortunes out amongst the stars. Many more have failed, broken, and lost in the drifting night. Will you be different? To win, gather a substantial retirement fund, acquire lodgings at a hub port, and retire. Fame, you will immortalize your exploits in the songs of the sky. For centuries, people have launched themselves into the unknown in the hope of making a name for themselves. You're sure you'll succeed. I'm sorry. I read your as yours. After all, you never heard of anyone who didn't. Gather stories of your exploits and write about them in New Winchester. That's cool. The truth, even the stars have secrets, but they won't keep them from you. A message from an old friend began an unwise quest to learn a secret that the stars hide. What drives you? Curiosity, justice, insolence, whatever it is, it will be tested. Hey, baby. Be warned, this is a demanding ambition, best played by a lineage that has already completed wealth or fame. So, truth is the one I'm obviously drawn to go for, but considering it's saying this is like your second playthrough, I'm gonna go with fame. Appearance, hair, oh, okay, so we're just a silhouette now. That's kind of cool. Okay, so we're gonna go with... Wait, do we have to have, like, a top hat? Can we have no hat? No hat. Okay, no hat so we can see the hair. What looks like mine? What is the messiest, moppiest, grossest hair in the game? It's either that or that. It's probably that. I'm gonna go with that. Then we'll look at our hat options. Oh, we can have a fedora! We should totally have a fedora. I'm kidding. Wait, was that a pirate hat? If there's a pirate hat, we're taking the pirate hat. I don't think that's a pirate hat. I think it's just a weird hat. Yeah, there's not really a pirate hat. There's this thing, whatever the heck that is. I'm actually gonna go with the top hat. Oh, it's sad, y'all. I put the top hat on and I immediately thought of TB. May he rest in peace. Okay, so we've got these brows that we can select from. Why does this matter? Okay, so with the spectacle it matters, but with like the different lumps of the brow, I'm like, dang, that is some interesting customization. We could be like that, which looks like we have glasses on or goggles. I'm gonna go with that. The goggle look is cool. We can choose our nose. I'm gonna leave it because it's not that important to me. And then there's outfit. Whoa, whoa, what was that? That is like a really heavy outfit. And that is... I'm gonna go with this. It's got these nice naval stripes on it. That'll be fine. Term of address. This will determine what people call your captain. But your captain's gender is up to you. We can be captain, we can be citizen, my lord, my lady, specialist, doctor, professor, officer, archivist, principal, administrator, secretary, intendant, nurse, comrade, brother, sister, reverend, madam, sir, citizen. Okay, so we're back. I'm gonna go with brother because I mean, that's how I refer to people in the community, so it's fine. It's a term of endearment. And we're not gonna be named McReary, we'll be named Good. Continuing on. This is all of our things. We are gonna have a starting stats of 10 iron, 10 hearts, 17 mirrors, and 25 veils. So we are gonna be a very sneaky, stealthy character who is able to investigate things well and sneak in or through things well. We're not gonna be great at convincing people, and we're not gonna be great at punching people in the face. Sad times, because punching people in the face can sometimes be necessary. The Reach's son, the Garden King, died long ago. Oh, now it's gone. Okay. Advice for captains, officers, and mascots. In addition to your ordinary crew, you now have an officer or perhaps a mascot. You'll need to formally appoint them before you can benefit from their skills, abilities, or animal charisma. To do this, open the officers panel while in port. Okay, and then we had the scouts thing, so we're gonna go ahead and hide that. That's cool that it stacks all the advice so you can reference old advice if you need to, and I'm sure there's a button to pull that back up, which is even cooler. Okay. The reading of the will. 3 weeks have passed. This morning, Captain Whitlock received a simple memorial service. Her body was consigned to a necropolis train bound for the Serene Mausoleum. Now you sit with a handful of her relatives in the threadbare offices of her solicitors. A methodical notary is reading the will. The captain was wealthy once, but squandered her capital on mysterious expenses before her expedition to the Blue Kingdom. Dun dun dun, mysterious expenses. Listen to the end. The captain's relatives, from whom she was mostly estranged, are clearly wondering why you are here. So this will be interesting. True to her words, in a final codicil, the notary announces, Captain Whitlock confirmed that possession of the Orphean was to pass to its first officer. He peers at you with dry gray eyes. This includes a certain black box contained in the Orphean's hold. Captain Whitlock's final request was that at a time of your choosing, you transport said box to an address in London. He hands you an address card and deposit it there. You are not to look inside. She gave no explanation. And that's it. You're captain now. The Orphean is yours. Dun dun dun. Captain Whitlock's legacy. You can investigate the black box in New Winchester, you could take the box to London as requested, or you could sell it and be done. You have been bequeathed a large black box which once belonged to Captain Whitlock. You've gained 100 sovereigns, new total is 146. So we promised her that we would take care of her last wishes, and we will. We'll deliver that. Wolvesey Station, the clamoring central station of New Winchester, a place of steam and smut and thundering iron. Here you can find people willing to pay for a skilled captain's services. So we can explore the city, we can recruit the incautious driver. I specialize in test driving, but I'm looking for something quieter. An opportunity, the fastidious inspector, excuse me, investigate the black box, follow your ambition, the song of the sky. So I'm seeing like, this, and it makes me think that this is going to lead us on more artsy pursuits because we know that that icon is attached to the arts. This is what I'm obviously considering. Like, I want to know what this box is, and we're absolutely going to... Oh, hey, look. Stories, and then shops. Oh, that's cool. I like that new... I don't remember if it was like this before, but I don't think it was. I like the distinction between stories and shops, though, because before it could be kind of confusing to try to find the shops. Okay, investigate the black box. Oh, I didn't mean to click this. Okay, whatever. Captain Whitlock left it to you in the hold of the Orphean. Her will described it only as a black box, a description you consider to be an unhelpful understatement. It is a casket of black basalt, longer than you are tall, unadorned, with a single small recess that contains a keyhole. The thing must weigh most of a ton. It stands upright in a corner of the hold where the crew have pushed it out of the way. Consider what to do with it. Try and remember when Captain Whitlock acquired the box. Examine the box. Sell the box as a curiosity. The higher your affiliations, the better price you will receive. Consult with an academic. Find someone who could open it from among your villainous associates. You need an uncanny specimen. He will give you his rarefied opinion if you have an unusual trophy from your journeys to share with him. Oh, so we need an uncanny specimen to convince him to even look at it, basically. Pick the lock yourself. We would need a savage secret to be able to do that. We do not have that, but it would also use our veils here, which would give us a 50% chance, or we can detonate the lock with a modest explosion, which would use our mirrors, but would also require a carefully packed munitions, which we do not have yet. So this is how a lot of the game works. You have to acquire these items, which allow you to select certain options, which continue different quests. We're going to choose perhaps not for right now, and the reason we're going to do that is because we are out of time for this first episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry if it was a little slow. This is a blind playthrough, and we are getting into it now. And once again, we'll have a cool webcam frame and stuff for the next video. This one, I just really wanted to get out and get going because I wanted to take advantage of the opportunity of not doing a second video with Endless Space to try Sunless Skies out with you guys, and I freaking love it so far. If you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead and click that like button. If you want to see more, click subscribe and ding that bell for notifications, because if you don't ding the bell, YouTube will decide that Cthulhu made you click the subscribe button and you don't really want to see the content, which isn't true, right? It is, but don't tell them. It's cool, man. It's cool. Cthulhu runs all. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace!